Na 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 na. Hey hey hey, goodbye. Na 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 na. Hey hey hey, goodbye.
What's going on, sports fans? Another great episode of the Jersey Bullies, and boy, do we have a wild one to talk about today. We have Tyler Freed on,
Hi, Dad.
and we have a special guest host, Gibby.
Hey, I'm back. I show up everywhere for some reason.
Yeah, your wealth of sports knowledge is definitely what brought you on this one.
Yeah, I'm sure.
All right, so this episode we're just going to touch on the Flyers, Sixers, and obviously the biggest move of the day, the Eagles Carson Wentz trade. What's everyone feel about that?
Just fuck Howie Roseman. That's how I feel about that. That's it. Fuck Howie Roseman. Fucking scumbag human being, just internally destroying the Eagles right now. Like, I feel like this is his redemption for being put in a closet during the period of time when Chip Kelly was here. Like, I really feel like he was like, oh, okay, I'm going to make it look good, win a Super Bowl, and then I'm just going to fucking destroy the franchise. Like, that's it. I'm going to make him look terrible. To the point that I'm sure Jeffrey Lurie's just going to fucking sell the team or something.
I don't understand because basically if Wentz does well and gets him to the postseason, we get a first round draft pick. But if he does well and gets him into the postseason, then it's like he fucked up by trading him.
Oh yeah, yep.
It's such a weird. I don't get it.
This trade is so fucking stupid. Like, this is literally a Howie Roseman move. Like, okay, cool, all right, we get a first round pick, but the first round pick means the Colts made the playoffs. So this first round pick is now in the 20s.
Yeah,
like, that's where it is. Like, that's why it's so fucking stupid. Like, it's not even a good first round pick. Like, it blows my fucking mind that we did this. And a third round pick with it? Are you fucking kidding me? You couldn't have gotten even like a player that would have been worth it. Like, because I don't trust fucking Howie Roseman landing a third round pick, especially not in this draft. He's gonna be like, oh, let's fucking draft so and so, and it's gonna be like the biggest fucking flop when you had 4 other like probably huge recruits sitting right there that he could have drafted.
So I guess my biggest problem with it is because obviously the rumor mill was a buzzing.
Oh Jesus, the rumor mill was on fire.
I really want to know what Chicago is offering at this point, because the rumors what Chicago was offering seems way better.
Chicago is offering nothing at this point. They had fizzled out because Carson Wentz's team threw it out there that he doesn't want to go to another fucking burning ship. Like, he doesn't want to go deal with the pressures of Chicago. So basically Carson Wentz just basically dictated where he was going. The only place he was going was Indianapolis. So Indianapolis knew that he had fucking Howie Roseman by the fucking balls and was just like, oh yeah, let's just fucking, here, this is the best offer I can give you. And it's a fucking terrible offer. Like,
But it's like what Gibby was saying. It's amazing that the rumor mill of what you heard. First, you heard Tariq Cohen, a first rounder, and all sorts of shit from Chicago. Then you heard from Indianapolis was 2 second round picks, conditional third round pick, all sorts of shit. So you heard all this stuff left and right. Everyone's like, yeah, it's going to happen Super Bowl weekend, the day after that. And now here we are, February 18th, and it finally gets done.
Yeah, it was, 12 days, 13 days after the original report, basically?
So, my opinion on this is either it's obviously Howie Roseman's incompetence to fucking seal a deal. So it's either we were actually getting offered all of these things, and Howie Roseman was just like, oh, I'm Mr. fucking Big Shot. I can just wait this out and wait longer and get better compensation, which that never works. You go with their fucking, like, there was no situation where you waited longer that they were going to offer more. Like, they were giving you their best package they were going to give you, and that was it. Because especially with the offseason that you have, once you get closer to the draft, depends on what the Jets are going to do if they want to get rid of Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold's younger, so he's more of he's a better looking prospect than Carson Wentz was at the time. mean, obviously Carson Wentz is a former MVP candidate and should be that, but like if he's not going to the right situation, a lot of people are worried about the price tag.
Mm-hmm.
Or this is just basically he waited it out, and all these teams were just like, okay, like they basically said we could go other ways. Let's go fucking poach Matt Ryan from Atlanta. Let's go do this.
Mm-hmm.
And
because he's smarter than everyone in the building.
Howie Roseman fucked it up by waiting and not striking while the iron was hot. That's what he did.
I can't believe how much dead cap we're gonna have because of him.
$34 million.
That is fucking mind blowing. So that means we're eating all that, and the Colts are getting that benefit.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, dude. Their fans are loving this. Like what do they lose?
The Colts
They
still
lose
have
a 3rd round pick.
The Colts still have to pay for his annual salary, which is around $33 million. It's dead cap space for us because we
but they have the cap space.
No, I'm saying because of the signing bonus, that's why we have to eat that dead cap space.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's off our books after next season.
Dude, they're loving it. They showed gifs of Frank Reich jumping up and down, smiling, laughing. They showed there's already the FaceTiming of Carson Wentz coming out. He's already talking to his new teammates already. He hasn't said shit to our fan base, or probably our teammates that anyone talked about anyway, at least. But he wouldn't talk to Howie Roseman at all. He would only talk to Jeffrey Lurie. He talked to Sirianni, the new coach, but that was it. Like, he wouldn't talk to anybody else. So you went from him helping us win the Super Bowl 3 years ago to being signed to a massive extension to being shipped out a year and a half later after signing that extension.
Yeah. It's really dumb even thinking about the fact that he gave him such a large contract. Like, he should still be under his rookie deal.
Absolutely. If you had zero faith in him, in his injury history and fears of him getting injured like he did in 2017, why the hell did you give him such a big contract?
Are you ready? You ready why they signed him to such a big contract? Because they were trying to beat the Dallas Cowboys to signing Dak Prescott. That was all. That was the only reason. They were trying to beat Dak Prescott's number because they knew they would raise Carson Wentz's number. So they were trying to beat it and think. And I mean, technically, that was a decent price for the Carson Wentz that we thought we were getting, and we had him at a decent price. This organization, Howie Roseman, fucked everything up.
So the smartest man in the building again.
Jalen Hurts. The moment they drafted Jalen Hurts, you lost Carson Wentz. That was the time that he was done with this franchise. He was out.
Oh yeah, you could tell once that happened, he gave up on the team. Straight out, just gave up on the team.
I can't say he gave up on the team, but I think he just mentally wasn't there every game. It wasn't.
Yeah, he checked out
because he's not the type of person that's gonna intentionally suck. He's not gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna fucking throw this game, throw that game. I just couldn't see that from him. I just think he just personally was just done. He was just absolutely done with the organization and just wasn't going to put in the 110. He's just going to put in what he needs to do.
I felt like the same thing happened with Doug Peterson too. I felt like both of them checked out.
Well, the problem is with both of them, our line is just garbage just because of the fact that they keep getting injured. We need more help there. And the fact that we had literally no wide receivers.
Because of drafting by Howie Roseman.
Yeah, there was literally no help at all. It's literally a joke whenever you watch them on there. We literally have Joe Schmo off the street running fucking.
Oh yeah, you had Travis Fulgham lighting up the season at the beginning of the year, and then you stopped calling plays for him.
And you benched him.
Yeah, for Alshon.
Jesus Christ.
Listen, at this point, I think I know why.
And that was Howie Roseman's move again, apparently, because he controlled the 53-man roster.
Yeah.
I think I know why Doug Peterson left. I think Doug Peterson said, "Oh, I want to use Carson Wentz." Like I think he was dead set on Carson Wentz. Like he wanted nothing to do with Jalen Hurts. He wanted to use Carson Wentz, and they
I
said,
agree with you
"No,
on that
fuck
one.
no. We wanted to trade.
Yeah.
We want to trade him. Get rid of him."
I completely
Yeah.
agree with you on that one.
And I honestly believe when they said, "No, we would prefer to use Jalen," Doug was just like, "All right, fuck it, I'm out." Like he was just done. Like and I can see him being done. And I'm sure he probably half-assed the season just like Carson when Howie Roseman's coming down like, "Oh, you really need to start Jalen Hurts. You need to do this with Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts this, Jalen Hurts that." Don't get me wrong. Do I think Jalen Hurts is going to be a shitty quarterback? No. I mean, now he's our starting.
Potentially. Yeah. They had the report came out today that they're going to bring in quarterbacks to be his competition.
It would not surprise me if the 6th overall pick we draft a quarterback.
Yeah.
It would not surprise me at all.
Dude, and that's going to be 3 drafted quarterbacks by Howie Roseman in 11 picks.
We're going to have to do a live stream of that draft, like record live and everything.
No, because if he drafts a quarterback, God, I'll fucking lose it. I'll just walk away. away.
My absolute reaction to that will be me fucking losing my fucking mind. Like Erik, you thought I lost my shit when they drafted Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson last year. If they draft any quarterback that's not Trevor Lawrence, I will lose my fucking shit. Like, it's so aggravating. This organization has gone from, top of the world in 2017 to this fucking dumpster fire being compared to the Jets. I saw someone say, "Oh, we're the new Browns because the Browns are better now." And
that's
honestly,
what I said.
I couldn't argue with them.
Yeah, and you
couldn't argue with that.
You have J.J. Watt, who is the biggest free agent out there right now, who is contemplating signing with the Browns, but he would never come here.
Well, I mean, we're an obvious rebuild, or fucking.
I was gonna say you were clearly in rebuild mode, yeah.
Whatever they want to call it, and that's fine. If you want to rebuild, fucking rebuild. But like, Carson Wentz is what, 29, I believe. So he's still young enough. You had him on a long-term contract. You can rebuild with him. Like, I didn't understand that. Like, you could have just figured it out with him. Just figure it the fuck out. Fire Howie Roseman. Everything.
He's 28 until next December.
Yeah, he's 28.
Even better.
I don't know about that because the problem is how long is it going to take you to rebuild?
He's 28.
Yeah, he's 28. If it takes you 3-4 years, I mean, that's the latter half of his career for most quarterbacks.
We're honestly not that far away from, like, we still have, like, yeah, our trenches are old, but I mean,
old. If they put fucking Peterson back in there, I swear.
No, Peters already came out and said there's no way he's playing for the Eagles. Not that he's not playing for the Eagles, but he just knows the situation. There's no, like, they wouldn't bring him back. Like, he's already come out and said that this offseason.
He's best friends with Lori, so who knows, dude?
Yeah, who knows, dude? He doesn't get anything anywhere else. We lose one offensive lineman. He's coming back in. He's back in the trench.
You're right. If they wanted to fucking send him a $12 million contract, then sure. Because why the fuck wouldn't you?
But yeah, that one... the problem is that they need a lot of help in a lot of places, and I personally don't think they have anywhere near enough draft picks.
So, all right.
I think they have 11 or 9, I think, in this coming draft.
Because they need to basically get I would say they need to draft at least 2 linemen, minimum. Because, I mean, they get hurt left and right. Like, we need to get backups because for some reason we can't stay healthy there.
They have 9 picks in this year's draft.
We need wide receivers. I would say we need to draft at least one really good wide receiver and then probably one halfway decent wide receiver. I think we need at least one more corner, and we need safeties.
There's so many. You need a linebacker too. I don't know if you said that.
Yeah, linebacker. I honestly, you probably even need people on the fucking defensive line because I don't even know who the hell's coming back.
Listen, we definitely need a lot, but I don't think because we have a lot of young talent that can prove themselves. It's just,
we're fucked cap-wise, though. That's the thing that sucks. We are fucked so bad cap-wise.
The NFL came out and said that they're raising the cap by $5 million.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So whatever it's at, I think it's It's either 175 or whatever it
Yeah,
is.
it's going up to 180. Yeah.
Which still doesn't help us. I mean, it helps us, but it's not helping us enough.
And that's the worst part about Howie Roseman. That was the biggest thing that I gave him credit for. He always knew how to manage around the cap. And, I mean, if he still finds a way to figure it out, cool. I mean, at least he's doing one thing fucking correct. But
I mean, what he did is fine, and then, we just eat it for a year or two as we blow through all this dead cap space. I mean, I'm sort of okay with that, because basically it's the same thing Tampa Bay did. I mean, they basically are going to be... They're buying their Super Bowls now. The problem is they're going to win more than one. We only got one. We came close to another. But they're buying their Super Bowls now, but that team's going to be the new Cleveland Browns, because they're going to have the same issue we're having, where all this back-ended dead money is going to come in, and it's going to train wreck that team for a couple years.
Oh yeah, they're already talking about for Bucks. They're already talking about extensions for Brady. He's already 43 years old.
Well, the only reason they're doing that is because they need to open up more cap space. Like, they're literally running down the same thing that Roseman did with this team, where you keep pushing it off. Eventually, you're just going to get crushed with all the cap, because all you do is you extend their terms, knowing that they're not going to play for you that entire time, but then you have to eat that freaking cap space when they're not there, because you played it all in signing bonuses.
Smartest man in the room, dude.
Well, it's not
dumbest, man.
It's not a bad move if you want to win now, which is basically what they did. But the problem is you have to eventually realize you're going to have to pay the Reaper here, and that's basically where this team is. They're
you also
going
have
to
to
have
let go
to
of the
pay.
players too. Like you have to let go of the players. Like he even admitted that he couldn't let go of them because he had a love affair with them.
Yeah.
The issue
Like you had to
is-
have let go Zach Ertz earlier. Now you're just going to let him. He's going to get released.
I mean, there was no reason to let go of Zach Ertz. I mean,
Absolutely,
so
because you drafted Goddard. You should have traded him right then and there.
No.
He only regrets this season because he had zero interest being in the fucking. It's Howie Roseman. Him and Howie got into a fight in training camp, and then you saw his disinterest of wanting to be here.
Which, again, was all about the money, because Eric's wanted more money, which I completely agree with, because he came off of fucking basically, 2-3 seasons of just being one of the best tight ends in the league. We should have paid him. It's ridiculous we didn't. And then he becomes pissed off because he's
What are we
under...
going to pay him with?
Well, again, that is sort of the issue. But, now the problem is he's pissed off at us. He got injured last year, so I don't think we can... I mean, we possibly could trade him, but basically any team that we trade him to is going to have all the cards.
Oh, yeah,
Well, there was another report
Yeah.
that came out today that he is going to ask for his release if he can't be traded. So who the hell is going to trade for him if
That's
you're
what I
asking
mean,
for
yeah.
your release? Your leverage is gone again.
But again, it's kind of obvious that the Eagles have to release him because they need that cap space. That's the whole problem. Is there where we're at cap wise? He's the most likely to go, because I don't know where else you're going to go. You already got rid of your quarterback. Where else are you going to get cap space from?
Well, you have your Derek Barnett, who is coming up on his 5th year. So he's expected to either A, make $10 million, or B, be a free agent. So you may be letting him go and have Josh Sweat start over him.
Yeah, I would
You
agree.
don't have an option.
You're probably gonna. You probably let him go and let Ertz go. I mean, I think last time I seen they were what, like 40, 50 million over. I don't know how much they got.
60 million.
60 million. I don't know how much they get back because of Wentz. I think it's not much, because a lot of his cap demand is built into the signing bonus.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But in drafting alone, just the first round picks for Howie, Marcus Smith. Obviously, he was a bust.
Don't even know who
Nelson.
Is.
Yeah, he was not good. Nelson Aguilar,
Who did
did
really
pretty-
well for the fucking the Raiders now.
Oakland, yeah.
He's doing really well for them. Which is
Yeah.
mind blowing. He can't do shit for us.
See, that was the thing. He could. When you had two receivers, see, he's
not a number
better,
one. He's not a number one, and that was the
Actually-
biggest problem. And he was a number one in our offense for the longest time.
Mm-hmm. And then
he couldn't handle that.
No, yeah. He's
so
a
then
good slight guy.
2016 you got Wentz, traded a shitload of stuff just to move up to get him. Now
Which
he's
that one
gone.
I didn't care too much about because they
No,
basically got rid of what was it, Bradford or whatever, and they basically almost netted nothing to get him.
Yeah, and he brought us a Super Bowl. I think without him, we wouldn't win the Super Bowl.
See, my problem is I almost think if Foles started the entire year, we probably still would have
I don't think
had
so.
the Super Bowl.
No shot. Shot.
Foles he doesn't produce that long term. Like he's another injury prone quarterback where if he's in for too long, he ends up getting hurt. So it happened in the 2013-14 season, and
I think
Vic got his job back.
I think Foles works really well in Doug Peterson's scheme, though. Worked really well with his scheme.
I just never understood Doug Peterson and not being able to scheme well for Carson Wentz. Like that was just something. All he had to do is what he was doing with. I mean, if he just did more RPOs with Carson Wentz, like he got away from all that with that.
Exactly. But back when he was supposed to have an MVP, there was a bunch of RPOs, and then he got hurt, and then it's like, God forbid we call an RPO with him.
So to go back to the whole cap situation, and Gibby, you said something like if you basically like when you have a team like the Bucs who are like loading up back ending your cap situation, you lead yourself to being fucked. You don't lead yourself to being fucked unless you draft poorly like he has. Like if Howie Roseman
but the Bucs are giving up all their draft capital in order to actually make that team. But I do get what you're saying. Roseman did not do that. Yeah.
If we drafted, so in the past couple of years, so if in, just the Rieger, Justin Jefferson, if we switch those two draft picks, last season goes a little bit differently. I think Justin Jefferson's was worth maybe one win at least on this team.
God.
If you go back to
question that completely.
Years,
I think it's way more than one.
If you so you go back to the DK Metcalf. Like I understand, it's hard to evaluate full talent. Like because JJ Arcega-Whiteside coming out of college seemed like a pretty decent pick. Like I was excited for him. I wasn't mad about that pick. Obviously it didn't work out the way we expected it. But if you have a good organization, which the Indianapolis Colts, that's what they've done well. They draft well. So then that's why they have a ton of cap space to come pick up Carson Wentz like this and add it to what they want.
But
because
the question
they have so many young talents, players, because he just year after year, Ballard drafts well, and that's what you need.
But what if Whiteside went to Minnesota? Like
Seattle, like if we
Seattle.
swapped Whiteside and DK. And I also don't.
I almost question it because I almost wonder if it's a scheme. I was going to say I wonder if it's almost a scheme issue with Doug Peterson.
It very well could have been coaching. Like that's another thing that I was.
It's really hard to say because like if you're getting a number one like that, and like I said, Aguilar is a prime example. Like he didn't do well in our system, and as soon as you got him out of here, he actually started producing pretty well. But granted, like I said, he's not a number one, and for some reason, we put him into a number one role. But he actually did okay when Jefferson was playing. Playing. Jeffries was actually playing, and he was a true
being the number one.
Yeah, when he was actually being a true number two, he actually was somewhat performing for us.
And honestly, so the thing was they always used Nelly to try to stretch the field, like he was just the big the gunner, and that's not necessarily what he does. I mean, he can do that, but if he did so well when we had Torrey Smith on the other side being the gunner and just running his long routes. Because Torrey Smith could take those, he was a little bit faster, and then Nelly could play the slot. That's what he did well. He played the slot well because he could do those crossing routes.
I was going to say slants all day. Yeah. He was great at them for some reason, and I don't know why. Like he would just he would catch the ball and do a cut, and then he's just gone. But yeah.
But going back to the first round picks, so in 2018 you didn't have a pick. 2019, you drafted Andre Dillard, who's probably going to be losing his job to Mailata.
I don't even think he started. Did he ever start a game?
He started one game this year, and then he tore his pectoral or bicep or something.
He didn't start this year. He got hurt in preseason. I think he started one game last season.
But that was only because of his injuries, though. Like it
wasn't the first game this year. No.
Yeah. No, he hurt himself in camp.
Oh.
because
But,
that's what happened with Peters.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Peters, yeah. Years just fly by, months. But then you drafted in 2020, you drafted Rager. And, yeah, you see what that looking like with Justin Jefferson out in Minnesota, like you guys were just talking about.
I just question if it's a scheme issue because I didn't think Gregor was a bad pick. I think Jefferson was the better pick, but
They need to be coached better. Like they need to
Yeah.
learn how to get separation. That's the big issue. Our wide receivers never get separation.
Yeah, they had zero separation the whole time. Like nothing was schemed right. Like I know, like the pick plays are frowned upon in the NFL, but that happened in the Super Bowl. Both teams used them,
yep.
and like it's perfectly fine. You just have to be able to scheme it so it doesn't look like you're legitimately doing a pick play.
Well, other teams also use bunch formations. I don't really recall us ever using a bunch formation unless it's a screen to a wide receiver.
I don't remember seeing anything done right this year.
Yeah, like it's yeah, like it. Almost all of our lineups was like multiple tight ends and heavy packages. It was very weird. And then we would try throwing on these when you would think it's a clear running play.
And then
yeah.
when you had your multiple tight ends, you had Richard Rodgers performing, and then once when Ertz was back, obviously he's going to take over, but you never used him again. He was done and gone too, just like Fulgham. Once when Alshon Jeffrey was back, you sent Fulgham to the sidelines.
The Fogel one pissed me off because I'm like, he's actually performing for you. Why would you bench him at that point?
You have no idea how bad that pissed me off. Travis Fulgham was so freaking good while he was in there. Because I was going to say he's the only wide receiver that was creating separation during his routes the whole entire season.
And he was the only one able to get downfield and catch a ball.
Yeah,
like literally the only one that we've had.
He made one mistake and dropped the ball once, and that was it. That was it for Doug Peterson.
Yep,
For him
100% agree.
to be like, oh, I'm just going to shut him down.
Yeah.
Like in the Cardinals game, the last drive of the game was the only catches that Travis Fulgham had in the game. He had 2 catches for I think it was 40-some yards, and he basically was the one that was bringing you down the field. Like I didn't understand why they didn't
plays
catch him.
too. Both key plays. Yeah.
It's just been, well, like what Gibby said earlier is that Carson Wentz, he feels like he checked out on the season. That's where I'm so torn about, because I feel that way, and then I just realized how Doug kind of did the same thing, and it's just like
you're going to be able to tell quickly if he performs extremely well in Indy.
Oh, 100%.
It's going to be night and day that it was not a recession year. He basically said, "Fuck it. I don't feel like you fucked me. I'm just going to show up. I'll do what I need to do. I'm not going out there to get hurt. I'm just here to get paid."
It makes me feel like, because a week ago I was supporting him. I was all in the Carson Wentz camp, and then I hear more and more stuff that he's doing this behind the scenes, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, man!
Just look at how that trade is fucking done. They even know it. They even know it. Like, that's the fucked up thing. The organization even knows it. That's all that trade tells me is the organization knows by giving them Wentz, they're most likely going to make the playoffs, and we'll take their first round pick. They even fucking know it. That's so sad. Sad. You're basically admitting that you fucked him over.
Listen, I can't wait for Carson Wentz to go to India and just fucking light it up. Because I want
Indy to get a fucking Super Bowl. Fuck it. I want him to be fucking
Jeffrey
Brady.
Lurie to look at it and just be like, why the fuck did you trade this guy? Like, why would you go trade the fucking
100%. 100%.
And I think that's the only way that Howie Roseman gets fired is if Carson Wentz goes out there.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way he gets fired.
Nah, see, I think if Carson Wentz goes over to Indy and just fucking lights it up and kills it,
just imagine he
win a Super Bowl.
Just
imagine
gets
he goes
to it.
To the playoffs.
Just gets to it.
he just goes to the playoffs and has a good season. If he has a 10-6 better season, they make playoffs, they win a playoff game, Howie Roseman should be immediately fired. Because it's fucking absurd that why would you even think that we can, trade Carson Wentz if he's at that level of playing? Like, I don't, and Jeffrey Lurie and everyone else has to see, like, he obviously has an issue with Howie Roseman. Like, everyone has an issue with Howie Roseman.
Again, it's in the trade. You can tell in the trade that they know that he is at that caliber. Like, that's the thing that drives me crazy. Like, we are admitting as an organization that he is a really good quarterback and will get you into the Super Bowl or get you into the playoffs. Because why else would you do that trade?
I agree, and it's gonna really suck if Indianapolis doesn't make playoffs and Carson Wentz, has like an average year. We'll just say that he has an average year, doesn't make playoffs. It's gonna suck because Jeffrey Lurie is gonna justify that trade being
Correct.
a good trade.
100%.
Then he's going to keep Howie Roseman for longer because, he made this trade. No, he didn't, because he made the trade for Carson Wentz to do well and us to get a first-round pick, not a fucking second-round pick.
But I truly don't see any way for them to get rid of him. Like, I think they're going to keep Howie Roseman as long as possible, that he's going to be like, you know what? I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to let him try to do the rebuild again, and if it fails, maybe then we'll talk about it. But I think Roseman has, like, nude pictures of him or something. Yeah. Like, he's got to have something to be able to keep the job for this long.
Honestly, that trade that he did really saves his job. Because if Carson Wentz does well, it makes him look amazing. And if Carson Wentz does really well, or if Carson Wentz does bad, it makes him look good, meaning that he's not a good quarterback.
Yeah, he got rid of him.
And if he does well, it makes him look good again because he got a first-round draft pick.
Yep.
Like, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's a fucked up trade.
That's what I'm saying, man. There's no way that he gets out of here. He's gonna be a GM for fucking life.
I always thought Jeffrey Lurie knew how to read the city a lot better than this.
Oh, dude, he won the Super Bowl, and that's it, man. They're the smartest people in the room. Howie's always said that. That's it. They stay up.
The question,
him and Lurie, they stay up and they watch the West Coast games. They saw how great J.J. Arcega-Whiteside was while we were sleeping.
The question is does he care anymore? He got his Super Bowl. Does he care?
He seems to care. He always injects himself into fucking Doug Peterson shit. So he had to have fucking cared at least a little bit.
By watching his press conferences, talking about Jeffrey Lurie's, I don't think he cares.
Yeah, I think he got what he wanted, which was the Super Bowl. And now he's just going to coast it and just make money.
I'm fucking sick at this point. Like, I'm serious. I didn't even want to come on this podcast, even fucking talk about this. Like, I'm just so sick from this fucking trade. It's embarrassing for the organization. It's embarrassing to be a fan of the Eagles. You know how many texts I got from every other fan of the fucking NFL today?
Yep.
About, fucking you guys, check out Carson Wentz. No, go fuck yourself, dude. All right?
It was,
It's fucking embarrassing. Like, you can't... you can't make a trade like this. Like, it's a terrible trade.
Yeah, especially for a quarterback.
I felt like it would have been... If you want to be an organization that, like, you tell Carson Wentz to suck it the fuck up and go out there and play. Like, if that's the issue, like, if he's literally telling you, like, because you don't like it, I would just fucking put him on the bench. All right, go. Either you're gonna fight it out for training camp or you're gonna sit on the bench. Like, I mean, you're already paying him for this year. Why not? Fuck it. Like, I would just had him sit on the bench this year and have Jalen Hurts.
I would have kept him. I 100% would have kept him. I agree.
Yeah.
I would have kept him, and I would have got rid of Howie. That's what I wanted.
And if he's a true fucking competitor, then what he's going to do, like, he's going to go out there and fight, and he's going to play, and he's going to prove himself, and then, then maybe you can have the gripe of, maybe I should be traded type bullshit. But, I love Carson. I don't want to, be mad at him because of pushing his way out of here.
Just look at it from his perspective, though. From his perspective, I don't disagree with anything he did. From his perspective, I don't disagree with a single thing he did. He did what was best for him.
I just wanted him to talk. That's all I did. I wanted him to talk.
I
What is he
disagree.
gonna say? Anything he said, he was gonna get ridiculed one way or the other.
I would disagree. Yeah.
Obviously, as the quarterback, all right. So
I agree with that, but I just
say he
wanted him to
comes
say
out.
something. I don't know.
Say he comes out and says, "Yeah, I want to be I want to be a part of this organization." Blah blah blah, and then he is trying behind the scenes trying to push his way out. Okay, so now Howie Roseman trades him. It comes out that he pushed his way out because obviously Howie, it would come out somehow, some way.
Yeah.
That's just the way the NFL is now. So now he looks like a fucking dickhead because he just decided to push his way out, even though he lied to the fan base saying that
I think I agree.
Or if he comes out and says, "Oh, I want to fucking leave," now he looks like a real dickhead because he's actually saying he wanted to leave. Like,
I agree. There's no way that he would have looked good, but I just wanted him to talk.
There's absolutely no way. And to me, in my mind, as a quarterback for an organization, the less they speak, probably the better it is. Because you don't want to politicalize any of that shit and cause drama.
I want him to come out and say, "Fuck you, Howie. I hate you."
Well, I would absolutely love
I would agree with that too.
Introductory press conference in fucking Indianapolis. Like, he should just be like, they'll be asking him, like, "Why'd you want to leave the Eagles?" He'd be like, "Because Howie Roseman's a piece of fucking shit. He should be fired." Absolutely, dude. Like, I would love that. I would go buy an Indianapolis Colts Carson Wentz jersey immediately.
Yeah, that would be needed. Yeah, that would be epic.
Like, fuck, dude. I'm fucking over it. I really am.
Yeah.
Fucking, and it's gonna be the icing on the cake when we draft a fucking quarterback 6 overall. Like, it really is. Like, they are really gonna fuck this up hard.
I mean, they basically said they need to bring in somebody, so I don't know what else they're gonna do other than draft somebody.
You can't draft anyone. Like my game plan right now.
They want Hurts to
that
compete, though. Like that, they've already said that.
There's go fucking get Mitch Trubisky. That's fine. Like, if you want him to compete, Mitch Trubisky is good enough to be a fringe starting quarterback, and you can have him compete with him. Honestly, I think Mitch might actually win that quarterback battle.
Yeah, I would probably agree with you on that one. I don't think Hurts is like the problem is Hurts needs more time.
So this is what
They're not going to give him more time either.
This is what I would want out of this situation for the offseason. Okay, they can literally number 6 overall. They could draft anything but a fucking quarterback, and it'll probably be a good draft pick. Like, it's really hard to fuck this one up. Howie Roseman, I'm sure, will figure it out. It's fine.
They'll draft a running back.
Okay, yeah, maybe not anything.
Or the tight end Kyle Pitts.
Fucking fullback.
All right, we're gonna draft number 6 overall a kicker.
Whatever. He's better than Jake Elliott, I'm sure. Right. So.
Oh God.
We could do that. We could. Whatever. Say we draft a fucking wide receiver. I think personally we should draft offensive weapons to suit up around Jalen Hurts, give him his ample chance to be a starting quarterback this season, sign a solid veteran quarterback, not someone to actually compete with him, but someone who could be there to teach him how to play football, and be there if step in if he gets hurt, because he is a mobile quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you build around. Obviously, we need to do defense, but whatever. Like you slowly start building the pieces, and if Jalen Hurts sucks, that means we have a high draft pick next season. And then we worry about the quarterback situation next season after you give Jalen Hurts his ample chance to be a starting quarterback, because you can't go off of the 4-game sample size that we gave him middle of the season when we just threw him in there against some pretty tough fucking teams.
I would agree with you if we get a preseason. If we don't get a preseason, I think that's going to be tough.
What do you mean?
I think if realistically he needs to have preseason games. And not actually play on the starting lineup and build his confidence, and then sort of work his way in.
At this point, because he's already been a starter, you need to just start him. You just go with him. Let him ride it out during the season. Like, you need to just
ride or die.
Do it. Just let him play. Let him play football. Like, you can't even have it where, and that's why I'm like, I say Mitchell Trubisky, but I don't even want someone like that. I want someone like a Josh McCown, who's a vet, fucking Fitzpatrick, someone like that.
Fitzpatrick be nice.
who is okay with being a backup quarterback and can come in and perform if an injury happened, not just to okay, Jalen Hurts is struggling, because that's what we did with Carson. We put someone behind Carson each and every time. That every time he struggled a little bit, the city turned on him and was like, oh, we want this guy in, and we can't keep doing that situation. Like, if you notice, all the years of Donovan McNabb, we never pressured him for the fucking person behind him because it was usually Coy Detmer or some fucking piece of shit.
But Jeff Garcia.
But he never really got hurt.
He got hurt 2 seasons in the back, and a solid backup quarterback, AJ Feely and Jeff Garcia, came in and delivered. They played their 3 or 4 games that needed to be played while he was injured, and that was it. And that's what you need. You need a solid quarterback to come in. I mean, technically that's a Nick Foles, but obviously after the Super Bowl thing, Nick Foles has a bigger persona around here, so he can be a quote-unquote starting quarterback.
Yeah, Nick Foles, I think, is only ever going to be a backup. But
and he should be.
Yeah.
Howie Roseman just keeps talking about having a quarterback factory.
Man, fuck his factory, fuck his whole entire fucking lifestyle.
Honestly, though,
I just wish he just would go fucking back into his goddamn janitor's closet and shut the fuck up. Like, I'm so tired of Howie Roseman.
Honestly, if you're a quarterback factory, it makes sense, because if you draft a quarterback who's really that's because he can't pick. He sucks at picking. But if you actually think about it, and you always have a quarterback under a rookie deal, and then you trade him basically his last year every time. Like if you have a good enough quarterback, you're never gonna get that though. Like if you have a quarterback that you keep you're cycling through, and you're such a quarterback factory that they're doing so well, you shouldn't be high enough to draft that quarterback. Like there shouldn't be a reason why we're drafting number 6. I mean, I understand the whole this circumstance this year was different, but like if you're quote unquote quarterback factory, then you shouldn't be. And listen, Jalen Hurts is an okay quarterback. Do I ever think he's going to be MVP caliber? No. Do I think he's winning us a Super Bowl? Hell no. He's a 2nd-round pick who should have been a 3rd or a 4th-round pick. We reached the fuck on him.
Oh, we definitely reached.
We got scared that someone else was talking about taking him, and we reached on him.
I think currently he's basically a backup quarterback. I think he shows talents of being a starter, but I don't think he's at that level yet. It's the problem.
He showed you in that Saints game, his first game that he started, that he is a solid backup quarterback that can come in for an injury and play good for a game or two. He played good for the Arizona game. That was more of a defensive thing than it was really a him thing. And my whole thing is the Saints game. He played well, and our defense played well. That was another big thing that a lot of people this season weren't getting. Our defense was shit. They had big spurts like in Seattle, like the Seattle game. They had spurts where they played well. Like other than a couple big plays to DK Metcalf, letting him go off, the rest of the game we played a decent game. They only scored originally 17 and then a garbage time touchdown. So
that's why I was happy when Schwartz left, though. I was just sick and tired of everything.
It's going to be interesting. The other interesting thing, basically, with this team is what are they going to do / how are they going to handle Ertz?
Ertz is gone.
He's going to be released.
He was traded when we saw him at the end of that game.
Well, the question is he going to get traded, or is Ertz just going to
get traded now?
Or he has to get traded, whether it's for a fucking 7th-round pick or something. Like, there's no way we would release a talent like that.
There's no leverage anymore.
There's no leverage,
the fact that he's Zach Ertz, there's enough leverage there. We still have him under contract. Whether or not he plays, when he actually... Look, I get these players, they want more control and they want to be able to push themselves out and, do what they want to do. But you signed a fucking contract, so he has to abide by his contract for another year at least.
I have a question on this one. So
I would let him fucking ride the bench if we're just going to release him.
If we release him, do we get the conditional the 3rd-round pick?
I don't know if we get the conditional pick. I mean, it could be anything. It depends on how he performs.
Yeah.
I think it's a free agent type thing, not a release. I think that's when you get to conditional. So when we lose someone,
I think he's considered a veteran because he signed a contract. So therefore, he would be eligible for it. I just don't know if it's at the end of the contract or we just release him.
I believe it's at the end of his contract. Like, if we release him before his contract's over, it doesn't count.
Okay, so basically,
technically, you hold on to him and you let his contract run out,
and you get a third round.
Wherever he goes, he can get a conditional. See, the Zach Ertz thing, as much as it seems like we don't have leverage, we do, because he's the type of player that you could just, all right, whatever, you know what, fucking just sit on the bench. If you're not going to play and you're going to refuse, we'll just fine you until you show back up. Like, that's what I would do in this situation. Like, you can't appease everyone.
Yeah, the problem is they need money, though.
Yeah, I was going to say that the whole issue is I don't know if they can let him run the bench and get underneath the salary cap.
Bro,
That's $8 million of cap space that they'd get if they released him or traded him.
And
so
he's gone, not going to sign the right player anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Well, he's gone.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's gone automatically. Like, in that sense, like, not a release sense. Like, he's either traded or I would make him ride the bench.
Well, the problem is if he rides the bench, who else would you? Who you basically have to let somebody else go. So who else are you going to let go just so you can keep him on the bench?
All right. So the situation is like he's going to refuse to play. So he's not actually going to count against your roster spot because he's not going to be there.
Like, he will count against your roster spot. He'll be part of your 53-man roster. You can fine him. I guess you don't have to pay him. I actually don't know if it will count against your cap, though.
I think it still did because Le'Veon Bell with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, because that's what you basically have to look at. Because, how did Bell's work? I'm not really sure.
That was different because that was a franchise. He refused to sign the franchise tag. Like, that was different with Le'Veon Bell. Because for Le'Veon Bell...
I thought he had one more year.
I was going to say, I thought he had one more year, too.
Le'Veon Bell because he got franchised for a second time. So the second time he said, fuck no, I'm not doing that. I want my contract, and they refused to do it. So he never signed the contract. So they could, I think they could only, they could fine him for not showing up because he was franchise tagged, like he's supposed to sign it.
Yeah.
But I don't think the contract worked against them because he didn't sign his contract. In technicalities. But yeah, Zach Ertz, I mean, personally, I think he'll get traded. I think you'll get like a 4th or a 5th round pick out of him. He's like a draft day trade.
You have to at least get a minimum of 3rd round. Just because just riding him on the bench will get a 3rd round.
There's no way after last season. There's no way.
I mean, I get what you're saying.
I mean,
I'm going off of the Carson Wentz trade that just happened. There's no way that you get that. Like, they're going to be like, oh, okay, you just traded your franchise quarterback for a fucking 2nd or a 3rd and a possible 2nd or 1st.
Well, no, you can get a 3rd too. Like, it could be 2 thirds.
Is it?
Yeah, if he doesn't play in at least 70% of the games, we get a 3rd and a 3rd.
No, we get a 2nd and a 3rd.
No, it's a 3rd and a 3rd. He's played 70% of his games in order for it to become a 2nd, and then he's got to get into the playoffs in order to become a 1st.
Is that the stipulation?
Yeah, it's stupid. It's literally like if he does bad, we get 2 3rd-round picks.
I'm fucking. Oh, Jesus Christ!
Yeah,
shut this podcast down for all the fucking foul language words I'm about to go off. Like, Jesus,
it's a bad trade. Yeah, it's a fucking horrible trade.
I didn't know it was that. I thought it was.
That's what I said.
I thought it was a 2nd-round pick. And that could be, if he
plays
it's a conditional.
It's conditional 2nd round pick.
Yeah, conditional 2nd.
And conditional 1st.
Yep.
I think Tyler's gonna go off himself. Jesus Christ, Tyler.
I know no one can see it, but Tyler literally has his hands covering the monitor, and he's about to throw his own phone.
Yeah, it's
Sammy, come take the phone away.
Yeah, it's a bad trade. Like I said, it's basically if he does not perform, I mean, we literally really get screwed.
100%. That's why I said the Colts are loving it. And they still have $50 million in cap space after his deal.
It's going to be a real awkward podcast next NFL season because I don't think I'm watching the Eagles, so I don't know what the fuck we're going to talk about.
Because they only have to pay for 1 year? They only have to pay for 1 year of his contract?
Fucking
2022, everything, not really everything, but it gets a lot later.
This is a trade that, like, how you see on fucking Facebook and stuff from NFL Films, the worst trades in the past 20 years. This is gonna be number one. Like, this is literally gonna be number one for worst NFL trade ever.
It could.
This is-
It could. That's
This
the
is the
problem.
kind of-
It could,
this is
or
the kind of
it could be
trade-
the best trade ever.
This is the kind of trade that Nick does to me in fantasy football.
Exactly. Yes. Oh my God. Yes, that is 1000% true.
This is the kind of trade that really tests fucking fanhoods. Like, I might become a Colts fan. Like, I don't. This is gonna quickly become a Flyers, Sixers, Phillies, Colts podcast.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna ignore the Eagles'
We're gonna have to change the colors real fast.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh.
We could do that. That's fine. We can make that work. I know a graphic designer.
Exactly. But yeah, that trade was the conditions on it is mind blowing, to be honest.
All right, on to the next topic. If we talk about Howie Roseman any fucking more, my head's gonna explode, dude. Like, this is awful.
All right, so we can do a rundown of the Flyers for real fast. They just lost their game in a shootout.
Yeah, it was expected for them to lose. I mean, they're coming off of a 10-day COVID layoff, so I wouldn't expect them to come out and light it up.
Yeah.
The Rangers just got torched from the Devils on the same exact situation from the Devils, so they came in more prepared, expecting, the energy coming from the Flyers. The Flyers showed, a lot of fight in this game, considering they're out. I think they have 8 people. They have 7 people out.
Yeah, 7.
They have 7 people out, and it's the likes of Travis Konechny, Claude Giroux, Joel Farabee, and who's their defenseman that was out?
Well, Farabee played tonight.
Oh, not Farabee. Lindbaum. I meant Lindbaum.
Yeah.
I can't think of the defense that's out. There's a key defenseman out too. So it's kind of expected. I'm not surprised that they lost this game. They got a cool game coming up on Sunday though, so that should be interesting.
Yeah, and Lake Tahoe outside. That should be interesting. Yeah.
Probably gonna be cold enough. It's cold apparently everywhere in the country.
Yeah, you still have the 7 people out. They're not making the trip. So that sucks.
Yeah, Claude Giroux. That sucks for Claude Giroux because he lost his Ironman streak. I think it was like 300 and some games consecutively that he played, and lost it because of. I don't even think he actually has COVID. I think he's just part of the quarantine crew.
Yeah.
That came in contact, and that fucking blows that something like this has to ruin his streak that he had going.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah, we'll see what happens with them on Sunday. You had the Sixers not in action tonight, but they played last night. It did all right. They kind of blew a 29-point lead though, so that was kind of awkward. But they still won by 5.
Yeah, they didn't have they didn't have Ben Simmons, so I mean they were down one of their starters. It was weird that they let him get back into the game, but I'll take it because they're coming off of a rough road trip, losing 3 of 4 out there, only barely beating the Kings. I mean, they played some tough teams. Can't give them not credit for that, but they're a work in progress. It's the road trip definitely showed that they need one more piece in order to put them over the edge. I just don't know what that piece is because you have to give up a lot for people like Bradley Beal. There's no way. Like, I like Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons showed in the Jazz game after scoring 42 points that he can light it up. That in that sense of it, and I think he's finally getting into his groove for the season. Because if you notice throughout the
last couple games, he looks really good.
His offense is improving, so I think he's just the type of person that he just needed to work into that. So I'm excited as long as his defense sticks up. I don't know who they would improve with though.
It'd be nice if they could get like Zach LaVine or somebody.
Oh, absolutely! It would be nice to make that big splash, but then you have to give up Ben Simmons or Tobias Harris, and Tobias Harris has been playing. He's the most average, not to say average, but he's been most consistent is the word I'm looking for. He's been the most consistent player on the team. Like, he's literally out there showing basically that he can score 20 average, like score 20 a game. He can get his rebounds and he can get a couple assists in there. Play decent defense. He's not the best defenseman, but I like the Sixers. They just need one more piece, and they should be pretty good.
Phillies came back this week. Let's just give that a shout out real fast. They came back
did come back this week
with a fractured thumb for JT Realmuto after all that shit that we dealt with all season. Fucking broken finger already.
He's out,
fine.
what,
Cool.
2 weeks, though?
Yeah, just 2 weeks, yeah. He should be back for opening day, he said.
I saw reports that he was going to be out a month.
He should still be.
I saw reports 2 weeks.
They said that...
Even a month, he would still be back before opening day, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said that they're expecting him to be back for opening day, but there's no guarantees that he'll be back for opening day.
So how did he break his thumb? I've seen a bunch of news articles on it, but I didn't actually read them.
Session with
he was catching a bullpen session and just caught him the wrong way.
He tried blocking a grounder, dove to the ground, and I guess either his thumb jammed up or the ball hit his thumb at the right spot.
It's his right hand, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not even his actual catching hand.
Yeah.
That's not too bad because technically he can still catch people. He just can't actually
throw people out.
He can't throw right now.
Just steal on him.
Yeah. Perfectly fine. He can throw his glove with the ball in it.
He has to give the ball to the umpire so he can throw it for him.
Well, I just meant for spring training wise. Like he can catch pens. He's just going to be like basically the pitcher's just going to have the baseballs sitting, next to him.
Or he has to have like a coach or something throw the ball back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited that the Phillies are back. I can't wait to see what happens this year. They kind of had a under the radar offseason. I think they've done a lot of good moves this year. So I'm actually excited to see what Dave Dombrowski put onto the field, and now that we have a real GM in place.
I still think they need pen help, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think they need a couple more pieces, but
I actually don't think they need that many pieces in the pen. I think if
what do you mean?
I
think they need another starter.
Yeah,
and at least
not a bullpen.
2 more people in the pen.
Minimum
2 more people in the pen. Their offense is great. I mean, they basically brought back everything we needed for an offense. It's just the pen just needs to. The pen, and they need one starter. It doesn't even have to be like an ace or anything. It just needs to be a decent starter.
I'm just going to say my scumbag is Odubel Herrera coming back. I'm not a fan of him coming back.
That's not his problem.
I know. Well, it is for what he did.
Well, no, I'm saying like that. He's not the scumbag. It's the, and I personally, this whole Odubel thing, getting invited to the mini camps or whatever, I think he's just there so that they have an excuse when they release him. Because, they need to see him in order to be like, oh, okay, well, he's not performing to what we'd like and we can release him. That's been the issue. They haven't had a chance to be like, oh, okay, you suck.
Yeah.
We can let you go.
Yeah, he hasn't been able to play baseball in 2 years.
So that's personally what I think Odubel's there. And they're going to say, they have to say the right things. So I think Girardi made a comment the other day about Odubel being there. I don't know exactly what he said, but I believe he made a comment in one of his press conferences.
Yeah, him and Nola both talked about Odubel, but yeah, Girardi basically mentioned that we have to see what we have there, and everyone deserves a second chance, and it's up to each individual player to if they give them a second chance or if they don't.
I think they're just
political fucking
political
shit out the ass. Yeah,
they're saying the right thing to just get to the right spot where they can finish it.
It'll be interesting. I think they're gonna have a better year than last year. I don't know if they're gonna be able to go, like I said, without getting. I mean, I think at least one more starter, and I would say minimum 2 people in the pen, minimum.
So you got your 3. You got your 3 starters. You got Zach Wheeler, you got Aaron Nola, you got Eflin. But What do you have after that? You have Spencer Howard that may be able to go, but how many innings is he going to be able to pitch?
I would say he's more
You
like
don't know.
a fifth wheel, the fifth guy.
Yeah, but you have Vince Velasquez too right now. He's slated as 4 or 5. Like that guy can't
put his ass
he
in the fucking
can't
pen.
leave.
Like yeah, like that's the problem. Like they kind of are. It's either that or you need to get probably like 4 or 5 people in the pen, and you need to make sure a couple of them are long relievers. Because the people that you have aren't going to be able to go the distance to where you can get to like a good 6 innings out of them.
I don't know. I think because they picked up 2 solid, or I think it was like 3 solid like former starters. That I think one of them gets it. I think Matt Moore. I forget the other 2 off the top of my head. I think one of them gets the 4th spot or the 5th, however you want to put it.
Mm-hmm.
I think the other 2 get put into the pen as the long relievers, which are the 2 pieces that you're looking at. I think we have a decent back end with Archie Bradley, Hector Neris, because Hector Neris won't be placed as if he's not the closer, he pitches well. It's just always how it's been. He doesn't have that super pressure on him.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he'll pitch well. Is Dominguez out? Is he still out with his arm injury? Or is he?
I haven't heard anything about him, so I have no idea.
Good
They
question.
haven't mentioned him at all.
Good question.
He depends. If he's there, then he's also a good, back end to the bullpen. I don't know. I'm okay with what we have for now to start the season. I mean, Dombrowski's been known to make mid-season transactions all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's where you'll see the better starting pitcher that Gibby wants. I think he'll make the move mid-season.
Yeah.
He'll probably make a bullpen move or 2 as well.
I like Archie Bradley though, our reliever. He seems to be fitting in just like Bryce Harper did when he first got here.
Oh, absolutely. He's always been a person with he works with the fans. He likes to have fun, and I mean he's a good pitcher. He's going to be a good closer.
I mean,
I'm excited to see.
they did announce that they're having a full season, right?
Yeah.
It's not going to be So that's going to be interesting.
That's why everyone's kind of worried to see what happens because you went from 60 games last year to 162.
Yeah.
So you had like Aaron Nola pitch 35 innings. So what? You're worried about him going from 35, 40 innings to what?
200.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one or
I
2.
mean, they're pitchers. I mean, I think if anything, last year helps them. I think that gave them a year to
recoup.
kind of recoup their bodies and not have to pitch 200 innings.
It's going to help those that are really good though, that have been in the league for a while.
I understand Nola. I mean, I don't know if that helps Nola or not, just because Nola's always struggled at the end of seasons. So I don't know.
In the beginning too, he sucks in April.
Well, that's just because he's a warm weather pitcher.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
it's going to be interesting. And I think they also said they're going to have fans inside the stadium as well. I'm assuming basically just behind the pens or by the the dugouts, I guess, or the people aren't going to be there. But I guess everywhere else they'll have people.
Florida?
I think everywhere's. I think that's their intention.
Yeah, that's probably their intention, but not in Philly yet.
Yeah. Since it's Bank Park, I mean, Philadelphia just hasn't lifted the restrictions to allow fans to that type of events yet. So, I mean, it's going to be city to city. You'll see some cities, like down in Florida, that will be allowed to have fans. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. I feel like, if anything, by, like, June, that's when they'll allow fans for Philly. I think once the weather starts getting warmer, they'll allow it to some capacity. I just don't know how much.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting if they allow fans in there, but they're not. I don't think they're going to allow them basically behind home plate, like between both dugouts. I don't think there's going to be any fans.
Because it's being too close?
Well, because the players are going in there. Because they don't want all the players stacking up.
That's what you're saying. Yeah.
So it's going to be a...
I think the players were only there just because of no one was in the stands. Like, I'm sure they'll.
Well, I think some of it was that. I think some of that was, but I think some of them are. Some people clearly are taking this disease a lot more stricter than others.
100%.
So I bet you're right. Some people are out there just because, I want to just be out here. It's kind of cool. And I bet you there's others that are just, they're out there because they're kind of scared about the
being all up close with everyone.
Yeah, which again, I have no problem with it. I get it. People, some people clearly think that this is, and it is a big deal. It's just not, some people just don't take it as seriously.
Hey, I got my first shot today, okay? I'm ready. I'm ready for everything to open back up. Let's go.
We got to get one more, my friend. That's what, 1 month away?
Yeah, I'm nervous about that one.
That's the one that apparently a lot of people have a little bit more issues with. Like, usually, from what I'm understanding, you're either okay with it or it puts you down for a couple of days.
Ass, yep.
Yeah, put you down for a couple of days.
We can save vaccination talk for after the podcast.
Exactly.
So, on that note, what do you guys got going on?
I don't have any other things to push. Just besides, obviously, follow me on Twitter at BarezzoE. You can follow our main program at the BPP official, and then you can follow our main show at Jersey_Bullies. Well, it's BPP official. I always fuck up with how many P's. I don't know why. Every single time.
It's okay. I was gonna read it, but you got it there.
Gibby,
what you got going on? You been working on any projects with Dace?
So I've basically been streaming every Monday. I stream occasionally whenever people bail during the week.
What do you stream on, Gibby?
I'm always usually on a computer. I'm always pretty much streaming primarily on a computer right now.
No, dickhead. I meant, where do you stream? Push the stream.
In my base? BPP Productions. At Twitch or whatever, yeah. Well, this actually goes live on there, doesn't it? I actually have no idea where Dace pushes this. Now that I think about it.
No, this is
a podcast, bud.
Yeah. Well, our podcast, I was going to say, the podcast, the Dace Man Show, is on Twitch, Yeah. So I'm not used to having to actually say it because, again, you're watching it on
live. This is not live.
Yeah, but again, you can watch me also on Tuesdays. We do the Dace Man Show right here on Twitch, and then I think it replays on Wednesdays.
Right here.
Right. Well, Jesus Christ, yeah. Shut up. I'm not used to doing these things like this. I'm also been doing Pod of Nerds. I did the Pod of Nerds today with Dace. I believe it launched while we were having our conversation right now. Actually.
What was the Pod of Nerds?
We actually did Star Wars. Oh my God.
Was it
Jesus
Rogue One?
Christ.
Rogue One, yes, Rogue One. Jesus Christ. My brain's dying
You
right
were
now.
a part of the podcast. How did you not know?
I know, and we went over again because whenever me and Dave start talking fucking Star Wars, it just... Time flies. What can I say? Time fucking flies.
Alright. So follow everyone at the BPP official Twitter account. Follow us at thebasementprotocolproductions.com. It's got a lot of fun content. Dace be writing a bunch of... he's got a bunch of blogs up there currently, I believe. That also sends you to a link to our store. You don't have any Jersey Bullies specific products out, but I do have my dad products out, so give that a look. I believe Jared has dropped a couple of his Sixers designs in there, so they're pretty cool. Give me a follow and a, you can talk about me about Howie Roseman at either at Jersey_Bullies or TFMoney11. And yeah, for Erik Barezzo, Gibby, and Tyler, that's it, folks.
See you later.
Bye, Dad.
Na 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 na. Hey hey hey. Goodbye.